Hey everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here, and I am out here in my Arizona room to talk to you again a little bit about habits and prepping and how one thing can change everything. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Vegan Prepper. Vegan Prepper. All right, today I'm specifically going to be talking to you about preparing for potentially not having power and needing to do laundry more off grid, and how we equipped ourselves for such a scenario and how it actually helped us in a different scenario. Also, I want to talk to you a little bit about practicing your preps and why I think it's really important. Laundry prep is one of those things that I think is extremely important. It's not necessarily the subject of the video. Honestly, this is kind of like the other videos in the habits and prepping series. This is more about the habit I want to talk about, where laundry prep is just ending up being an example of the larger topic that I want to discuss. But, you know, it's something that's really important and something that we realized was important. You know, a couple years ago, we had originally gotten that kind of tower-shaped drying rack that was towards the back of my Arizona room in that shot. We got that originally because we were cloth diapering and because I wanted to hang the outer part of the cloth diaper up to dry, because just from my research, that's what I believed was the best thing to do with those, rather than tossing them in the dryer and potentially wearing them out and all of that. And so basically we were drying our outer pieces of the cloth diapers up on there, plus other kind of random little hand wash things, you know, so having that little drying rack was great. It's also fantastic because it folds up and gets out of the way. And so it was really nice to have a drying rack on hand, but having it kind of got me thinking about how important it would be to really get something that could handle an actual load of laundry of adult clothes. And so I hunted down the bigger metal one that was kind of more towards the front. I hunted that down on Facebook Marketplace. I found it for about $20, I think. And it was, you know, it was either 15 or 20. I can't remember. I think it was 20. But, you know, those things are brand new, or like $50 to $70. So it was a really good deal. I snagged that and we love that thing. And so I didn't just buy it though. I actually spent about a week hanging up all of my clothes to dry. It's not something that's required. Honestly, I would love to do it more. It's just, it ends up being, you know, a lot with my life. But even still, every now and then I like to drag those racks out and I like to put my clothes out and I like to go through the process again, usually about a week at a time. I just sort of practice hanging all of my clothes to dry. And that's what we're in the middle of right now. And doing it today made me think again about the scenario that happened with us, where I was really glad that I had prepared that in advance and already knew how to do all that. Basically what happened to us was our dryer broke. This is not something that is beyond the realm of possibility, especially when you have stuff in our house, in your house, as old as the stuff that we have in our house. But my husband is basically a mechanical genius. He's so good. He's good at basically everything he does, but seriously, I'm not sure that there's anything that man can't fix. But he went through it and he tested everything. He tested all the parts and he figured out which part it was, like some electric thing in there that he needed to replace, and he needed to order that part. And so the part was going to take 2 weeks to get to our house originally. And so basically, because I already had everything set up, my drying racks, I had also already practiced how I'm going to hang my clothes up. And I got everything set and I already knew what I was going to do. It basically went from being something of a hardship to just sort of being an annoyance, because, you know, it is annoying and it's more work to do those things, but I already knew. And so basically I ended up spending, you know, a week and a half, and that's how long it took, because the part came a little earlier than they expected, but it was a week and a half. I didn't have a dryer, and it was maybe a little annoying because I had some extra work to do, but it was not even remotely like a massive issue, because I already had just like a $20 drying rack in place and that other thing, which is also not expensive. But yeah, like we had both of those things already and I already knew what I was doing. And so it was good because I had practiced. And I think that that's really like the main thing that I want to talk about is, you know, really practicing our preps. You've heard me say before, and I will say again, that prepping is so much more than the items that we have on our shelves. I think it is a lifestyle. I think it's an attitude. I think it's a set of habits. I think it is being able to build your skills in a time when you don't have to, so that when you actually have to use those skills, you have them in place. So for me personally, every single time I realize that we have kind of a hole in our preps and then I'm able to purchase something to cover that, I like to use that thing. I like to get so good with that thing that I form, like, even to the point of muscle memory, that I just know how to use it, as well as I would know how to use my stove, as well as I would know how to use my dryer, as well as I would know how to use any one of the things that I am replacing, that I would be able to truly be familiar with the things that I have in my home for that reason. So basically, on the channel, I have a series where I'm learning my sun oven, for instance, and that's basically me practicing. I'm trying to, again, build that muscle memory, just build the knowledge to really understand how to cook and use this thing in case I really ever actually have to. I don't really have to right now. So I'm building that habit right now. There's other pieces of equipment I have. So for instance, my Wonder Bag. So I'm doing daytime cooking a lot in my sun oven because obviously you need the sun to cook in the day. But I also have a Wonder Bag, which is an insulated bag. And unfortunately, you can't really get them in the US right now. They're only selling them right now in the UK and I think South Africa. But basically, once they're available in the US, again, you could possibly grab yourself one. But it's just an insulated slow cooker. So I am now starting to cook, for instance, my grains. I've done barley, I've done rice, I've done beans, I've done all kinds of stuff now that I know how to cook in my Wonder Bag, where basically all you have to do is boil the thing on the stove or on your firebox. And we have a video on the channel where we did a test with the firebox and the Wonder Bag to cook a batch of beans off grid. And I can link that down below. But you take that thing, you stick it in your Wonder Bag, you close it up, and then it sits for a couple of hours, and then it cooks. Like, it's there, and it's ready to go. So I'm learning how to use that. I'm learning how to do all kinds of things, and I'm always practicing. And like even right now, I don't have to be hanging my clothes up to dry. Our dryer works just fine. And it is hotter than blazes out there, and it's miserable hanging the clothes up in the Arizona room, but I'm doing it again. I'm giving myself another several days where I'm going to be hanging all of my clothes up to dry again, because I'm just practicing. I'm building the system in advance so that should I ever really need it, I will be able to fall back on experience and not just the stuff, but the experience. And I think that that really is probably what I'm driving at, that it's really important for us to build experience in these areas in our lives so that we are really well set up. Should something happen, again, we can take it from true hardship to just, sort of annoying. And I think that that's a lot better. The other reason I bring up the laundry prep specifically is because I think it's a really great way to start. If you have, say, you've got some food on your shelf and you're kind of looking to expand some of what you can do, say if the grid goes down, if you lose access to something, I think the laundry stuff is a great place to start because it's really inexpensive and really easy to get yourself set up with just kind of a really rudimentary system, but something that will still work for you, right? You can basically get a plunger, so ideally a brand new one, in a bucket, and you have what you need for washing clothes, and then basically a drying rack, and you're essentially set. Now there's a little bit more to it than that, and if you're really interested in it, go ahead and Google or look up on YouTube off-grid laundry setup. I don't have any videos like that anymore because I have not yet practiced the full shebang of laundry and drying. So I definitely need to get on practicing doing the laundry. That is on the list for the cooler months. And now I'm hearing myself say that. And I know somebody is out there like, you better do it now. And it's like, oh my gosh, I guess, yeah, I should probably do it now. I should probably make a video. Oh man, you guys, I'm like convicting myself in the middle of my video. I'm trying to inspire people and I'm like, dang, I still have work to do. And I do. I'm never, oh my gosh, listen to me. I am never coming at this from the point of view of somebody who thinks they know everything. I do recognize that we have a unique lifestyle and we have a unique take on things. And I also recognize that a lot of the things that we do are not things that other people consider. And so I feel like I share from that perspective, is to sort of shine a light on possibilities so that if other people haven't considered those things yet, they can also start. considering those things and hopefully improving their own lives. But yeah, I need to get on that myself. That is hilarious. Okay, you guys, it's on my list. Look for in the next week or two, look for a full off-grid laundry experiment. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it, even though it's hot. So basically, just to get started where you are, it's something that has been really instrumental for us in our lives. I've shared before many times again that we have come from some severe financial issues, severe financial problems that we have had in the past. And I don't necessarily need to get into the details, but yeah, there were some really dark years of our marriage of just extreme, just kind of poverty. And we dealt with a lot, but we got out of it. And it wasn't because we looked at how impossible the situation was. It wasn't because we were always staring at the problems. It's because we were coming up with solutions. You look around and you can see all of the things that you can't do, the things you can't afford, the things that you can't manage to get done because you don't have enough finance, you don't have enough time, you're not healthy enough. I actually dealt with a big health issue during that time as well. And all of that. But really what it takes is looking around now, and instead of seeing everything that we can't do, look and say, what can I do? And that began to be the question that I would ask myself every single day. What can I do? And I would stop because it's so obvious all the things you can't do, but what can I do? I can say, clean my kitchen. I can get my laundry done. I can mop my floor. And I know that those sound like stupid things. Like those are not preps. Those are not things that are going to save your life. But do you know what it does do? It starts to train discipline. It starts to train the mindset of always looking at what can I do, to stop wallowing, to stop assuming that just because things are hard, that means that they're impossible. It is not true. It is not impossible. It's anyway, you can do anything if you set your mind to it. And I know that sounds trite, and there's probably a lot of people out there who are dealing with really difficult and hard situations and are like, but you don't know what I'm dealing with. You don't know what I've dealt with. You don't know what any people have dealt with. And a lot of times when you see people like me and you see people talk like me and you see people saying those things, these people are saying those things not because they've never dealt with issues. It's the exact opposite. These are the people who have overcome things, and these are the people who are trying to get to you the way to overcome those things. And so anyway, I didn't mean to get on that. And again, I don't come at this from a point of view where I'm trying to lecture, or I think that I'm like I don't know, like I have some right to give you advice or speak into your life, but I just want to encourage people and help people. And it's about building those habits. It's about building that internal thing. And I think that is so much of what is so good about prepping and preppers, is the fact that for the most part, I choose to see it in a really positive light. We are the people who find solutions to problems. That is what prepping is. It's about always finding solutions. I think it's basically like the ultimate growth mindset, to always be looking at, okay, this is a potential problem. Now, how can I fix it? And then we move on to a new thing, and it's something that we can do. And if we can get it done in every area of our lives, I think every area of our lives improves, not just when stuff happens. It's every day. It's not just going to change your life. It's going to change your day, right? Anyway, all right, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and hopefully you got something out of that. If you have anything to say about any of that, please let me know down in the comments, and I look forward to interacting with you. As always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye. If I can get Sage to not ask me for another snack for a few minutes, we might be clear to film. I don't know. It's like, are you done? Are you done yet?